Welcome everybody from your local alarm system specialist at Advanced Alarms. In this video, we will show you how to add, change, and delete user codes on the DMP Virtual Keypad app. As many of you are aware, adding or editing user codes from your keypad has always been a somewhat difficult task. But with the use of the DMP Virtual Keypad app, this process of editing user codes is now easier than ever. Once you are logged into the app, simply click on the hamburger icon in the top right corner of the screen, and then select Users. From this screen, we can see a list of all users that have already been added to your system. If you wish to view the codes associated with each user, simply tap on Show Codes and it will display them for you. With the codes shown, if you wish to add or delete any users, you will first need to hide codes or press the X in the top left corner to continue. To add a new user, press the pencil that now appears in the left corner and select Add. Here at the top, we can add the user's name by tapping on First Name. Here we will enter the name Brad. And for the last name, we will enter Smith. To close out of the keypad, you can press the down arrow button here at the bottom. Now that we have entered the name, we need to decide on the user's authority level. We see here the Apply to All option. This app has the capability to assign multiple codes to an individual user. If you want all of those codes to have the same authority, we can leave on Apply to All. But if you want this user to have individual authorities depending on specific codes, we can turn this off. In doing so, it will give us the option to choose the authority when setting up each individual code. I will show you how to do this in a few minutes. For now, let's turn it back on. Now let's talk a little bit more about authority levels. As we see here, we have 4 different options to choose from: Master, Standard, Arm Only, and Temporary. If we click on the info icon here, we can get a brief explanation of what that authority type means. Let's click on the Master info. We see here that this user will have all panel permissions, including the ability to edit user codes from the keypad itself or make programming changes to the security system. Press OK to close this window. The standard user does not have any of these permissions and can only arm or disarm the system and will generally be automatically selected for you. With Arm Only, this user will only be able to arm but not disarm the system. And lastly, with Temporary Authority, this user will only have the permissions for the next 7 days. After that time expires, that code will no longer be valid. Now that you have decided on what authority you want this user to have, we can click on Add here at the bottom to set up their user code or credentials. From here, we now need to decide what type of user this is. Will this be a user code, a user credential, or a mobile credential? Now you might be asking yourself, what's the difference? Well, the difference is a user code is a 4-digit PIN number used to arm and disarm the system. It can be used directly at the keypad or here in the Virtual Keypad app. It's the type of code you are most likely thinking of when set out to create a new user code. The credential option will generally be a 5-digit user number assigned to a key fob or key card that will be assigned with an access system to enter or exit doors. The 5-digit code will generally be listed on the back of the key fob or card. A mobile credential is only used when a DMP SR3 proximity reader has been installed. This allows you to lock or unlock the door with the use of your phone instead of a key fob or card. It will most likely not apply for residential applications. If you ever get confused about the difference between a code and a credential, the app gives us a handy little icon here at the top to indicate the difference. We see a little key card here with the credential option selected. But when we switch over to code, we now see an image icon of an alarm system keypad, allowing us to easily discern which type is correct for your specific usage. Depending on which type you select, you will see different options listed below. Let's start with creating a code. The next option down is the user number. This user number is a 2-digit number that generally ranges from 0 to 99. However, it is important to know that you should never actually use user number 1. This user number is assigned to your silent panic alarm and when entered, will send a silent duress signal to our alarm monitoring center. So make sure you always start with user number 2 and go up from there. Fortunately, this app remembers which user numbers have already been used and will automatically assign you to the next available number. Next, we can click on Code and enter our 4-digit user code. When complete, press Done here at the bottom. Now let's try setting up a credential. Select our type, and switch to credential. When setting up a credential for a key card or fob, we see the same options for user number and code. However, we now have the external number option. This is an optional field in which you can enter the full 7 or 16 digits written on the back of your key card, but is not actually required for using one. It is simply there for your own personal records. We can go ahead and skip this and press Done at the bottom. Send to locks is only used when a Z-Wave lock is in use, and you need to send the code to the lock to be used as a new lock or unlock code. As I previously mentioned, you can also set individual authority levels for specific user codes. Let's go back and unselect the Apply to All option on the previous screen. Here we now see the newly created user code. We can either go back in and edit it, or we can create a new code for this user if, say, the person needs both a user code and a user credential. Since we just created a credential for this user, let's create a user code for them as well, and press Add. We will switch the type to code, enter in our new 4-digit user code, and press Done. Here at the bottom, we now see the authority type options like you saw on the previous screen, allowing us to specifically assign them to this code only. With all selections completed, we will press on Users here in the top left corner of your screen. We now see that users number 4 and 5 for Brad have been added. If you choose, you can also add permissions for this user to have access to the Virtual Keypad app by selecting Add here at the bottom. If this is a brand new user, you will select Create App User and then enter in a valid email address. This user will then receive an email with login information just as you did when you first signed up. You can also choose an existing app user to be assigned to this user code by selecting Choose App User. This will simply assign this newly created user code to an existing app user on your account. Now that we are done creating our new user, we can press Save in the top right corner. We will now see the newly created user on our list here. You will notice this user has 2 icons next to the name, indicating that this user has both a user code and a credential. To edit an existing user code, you can simply tap on the user you wish to edit and make any changes needed. And when done, we will again press the Save in the top right corner. Finally, to delete a user code, tap on the pencil in the top left corner and select Delete. Then simply tap on the red trash can next to the user you wish to delete and select OK. We will now select the X in the top left corner when you are finished making your user code deletions. As you have seen, editing user codes is now a simple and easy task to perform when using the Virtual Keypad app. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video. Also click on the little bell icon to receive updates for when we release new instructional how-to videos on your favorite home alarm monitoring system. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you all next time.